You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network.
What I've sown, but this pain I can't take it. Though you really love me, should've never gave up. I miss making good to you and staring me up. I can't, babe. I've tried.
Love, peace, and light. You're now tuned into the most informative and inspirational show on a Thursday night, where elevation through education is the goal. You now got it locked on to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. I am your host, Lawrence Coutee. I am Ra, Sosa Ra. Man, I hope everybody's having a great week so far as we get ready to cruise into the weekend. Man, today's is one of those shows where I got one of my super friends. Tonight's special guest is going to be my brother, JP, Jerry Perkins, on the phone. And he's going to be coming in and breaking it down, and we're going to be talking about living your dreams, rising above adversity, and really just stepping out there and walking in your path, walking in your truth, you know. I love doing the show because, especially when I begin to do the subjects about living your dreams, and previous shows I've talked about, you know, walking in your purpose and living your dream and not taking no for an answer and not making excuses of, you know, I'm too old to do this, or I don't have the education to do this, or I don't have the backing to do this, I don't have the finances to do this. And I always say, man, look, it is what you make it, you know. Stop waiting around for someone to give that to you and go out and take it. Go out and take what really belongs to you. Go out and get yours. If you truly want it, go out and get it. So today is one of those shows where I bring someone on who's been through that adversity, who came from those humble beginnings, you know, who's been out there on the road and been with multi-platinum record industry and labels and seen the insides and outs of the business. So I got my brother, Jerry Perkins, on the line. JP, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, what's going on, fam? All is well, and thank you for having me on. Excited to be on and share a little bit of my experience and journey with the people, man.
Well, man, you know, you were one of those brothers, man, that, you know, when we met and we came into each other's lives and we would be talking and we would be, you know, just kicking the knowledge back and forth, man. But your story, man, is quite incredible to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know you. But I want to know, man, I mean, what the people want to know, what I want my listening audience to know, man. Could you kind of take us back to your humble beginnings, man? How did it start, you know, you on your path to getting off into music and R&B, man? Can you just give the listeners a little bit about how it all got started for you?
Definitely, I sure will. Well, basically, man, I started at a very young age falling in love with music. To be honest, some of my first memories were, you know, my father having me to assist him with loading up equipment into different vehicles and U-Hauls and things like that for him to set up churches for revivals and things like that. So I remember like around age 5, I started playing harmonica. My father, being a pastor, plays guitar. My mother, to this day, is still one of the coldest organists and pianists you would ever hear. And I say that honestly, if anybody ever heard her, especially in these areas, everyone knows who she is. But anyway, bro, so she plays organ. My brother plays drums. And ironically, I started off, as I said, on harmonica. And, you know, just being around music, I remember at a young age, we would be riding in my dad's car, and I would be, you know, riding in the middle console on our way from Lufkin, Texas, which is where I was born, and he had a church in Lufkin, and he also had one in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is pretty much his hometown. And so anyway, man, I would remember riding and listening to songs by Al Green that my dad would be playing, and then, you know, the whole church experience, I really would connect with the music. And so, you know, around age 12, I really started getting serious about, you know, learning how to play keyboard. So I would pay attention to what my mother would do. And, you know, her being, you know, a church musician, I knew at an early age that not that I don't want to be a gospel artist or didn't want to be, I just knew that I had more of a passion for R&B, funk, pop, you know. But anyway, make a long story short, bro, by age 12, I started teaching myself a few basic chords. And it was probably around the time I was like 13, or right, it was 12 or 13. My brother had me to come up doing a church service on Mother's Day and assist him singing a song that's very popular in church, I Won't Complain, by Paul Jones, or Paul Jones, the late legendary Paul Jones. Don't make him like him anymore as far as a gospel vocalist. But anyway, so I got up and helped him sing that song, and I could always sing, bro, but I was more or less in my shell and shy to really just come out and open up. So anyway, my brother encouraged me to come up. Make a long story short, I closed my eyes and just let it rip, as we would say. I let go and just gave in to the spirit, man, and the church just went crazy. And from that point, it kind of broke the ice for me with my shyness, because I gained some confidence from that to say, oh, okay, people respect and appreciate what I'm doing, because this is so truthful, man. I was around music so much, and I come from a family that plays so much, bro. I thought everybody probably sung and played an instrument. I didn't figure that out literally till I was about 12 years old. No, that's truthful, man. And people started reacting and telling me, do you understand how musically inclined you are? And I didn't even know what they meant. And they would just say, you're so, they would look at me and be like, man, you just, how do you do it? So anyway, my brother, after that, he plays drums, as I said, and also sings, Isaac Perkins, and bass, and plays bass now as well. And he basically started a group. He had pulled me, what started it was, man, one day he had pulled me into the room, and I think it was at the end of the song on BET, Jodeci, Forever My Lady was on. And he showed me, was like, bro, do you hear this? And I'm like, man, what are they doing? How are they singing that gospel over that funky music? Man, I like it. I know. And I just fell in love with it. And he told me, he said, well, look, we're going to start a group. So my brother and I and one of his friends that he knew from school, a couple of them actually, we formed our group and called us ourselves Fantasy. We wanted to be like Jodeci. So, you know, we went and copped the boots, the kills, you know, the whole image. And we started practicing and doing local talent shows. And we did a few around in Lufkin, Tyler. And then around 14, bro, the group kind of disbanded just a little bit. And I kind of started at that time kind of going out on my own. And I would start, my mom allowed me to go with this company at this time called Dat Productions. And I would go from Lufkin to Houston, and I would go down there and record records. So let me back up with my brother and I. So we was 13. Let me slow down. We went and recorded our very, very first demo. This is a lesson to those that's wanting to be in the business, and don't let your excitement overrule your approach as far as business. So I didn't know, you know, I'm only being 12, 13. We recorded a 3-song demo, and I was pretty much, I had wrote my first songs at 12. I had wrote some songs that were similar to like Guy. At that time, you had Piece of My Love. Chetty Raleigh still to this day is one of the coldest producers. I'll always look up to him and admire what he does. Just totally a genius, right? So I had some songs that kind of mirrored that whole New Jack Swing sound, and we went in the studio and recorded them. Well, man, broke my heart. We put all that hard work into it. The studio owner booked on us, took our songs. I never even had one recording of it. So that was my first lesson to the real business and how it can be, man. So anyway, shortly after that, as I was saying, the group started after we did a lot of local talent shows. We kind of dispersed a little bit and went our own directions. And we would try to still practice together, but it was more of a pull on me to stay creative and be in the studio. So as I said, I would go down to Houston. My mom would let me go. And I had a very fortunate thing happen to me when I was 14. The company happened to take all the artists down to Atlanta, Georgia, to Jack the Rapper's convention, right? So at 14, bro, I'm all down at Jack the Rapper's. In fact, not to bring up anything negative, I remember during that time, I believe Luke was really popular in the South, and him and Dre at that time had been going back and forth over some little small Radio B stuff or whatever, and they actually was at the Marriott downtown Atlanta fight. Now, I'll never forget that collab, bro. But anyway, so then after that, bro, after that, Productions around the age of 15, 16, 16 to actually be exact. In 1994, I left, man, Lufkin, East Texas, and I went out to California, bro. And at that time, I moved with my father because he was starting a new life, new ministry out there, et cetera. And so I went to assist him in ministry, played around, played in church and sung in church like I would always do. And then, bro, around 18, I couldn't hold back, bro. I I finished high school out there in Los Angeles, and one of my classmates, Taurus Williams, man, one of the coldest boys. You're going to hear from him too, man. We're going to do something together. Cold on the mic. I could compare him to like a Luther mixed with a little Gerald Levert, but on the gospel side, almost like a Marvin Sapp. The boy is just cold, man. But anyway, me and him, we got together, and he was coming off of this situation with this group, and he didn't know what he wanted to do. And I had always kind of continued, to myself, recording like little demos on the side. And when I left home at 18 in California and got on my own, man, I would get in the studio, man, even after school, and keep making music. So when him and I got together, we had an ideal, man. We was like, well, you know what? Your group situation didn't work out. I really didn't want to be solo because at this time you still had like your Jodeci's, your Drew Hills, starting to, other people. Yeah, man. So I still want. What did you say, bro?
I was just saying H-Town. I was just talking about
H-Town. Correct. That's funny you say that. At 14, I used to go around the different shows with my DJ at that time. He would be putting on, let's just say, adult type parties that a 14-year-old shouldn't have been at. But I would be in there singing H-Town's Knocking the Boots. And at times we would tell people we had the H-Town boys in the house because I got really good at that Dino sound, man, especially for someone my age. But anyway, bro, to get back on, bro, around the age of 18, me and Taurus Williams got together. And we formed this two-man group called Too Unique. And from there, we had this manager. My manager at that time was also doing some personal management and road management for this group, Brownstone. I don't know if you remember them from back in the late 90s, but anyway. And he assisted us with putting together some sounds, and that's how we ended up in New York, bro. This is at the same time, bro. This tell you some of the things I've been through, man. Now, here I am from East Texas. I'm just 2 years out of East Texas, traveling. I'm in New York. I'm in Cali. I'm living in Los Angeles area. And so, man, we had been planning this trip to go to New York to do a performance at this well-known club out there that all the people that are anyone as far as R&B or just in the business period, they go through there for a good time, use the live atmosphere to, just go out and do what you do. So anyway, bro, we happen to have to go out there like, let's say 3 to 5 days after the notorious, the one and only Biggie Smalls got murdered, bro, in L.A. And so we go out there, hey, we got Too Unique from L.A., boo. And so, by grace of God, bro, I zoned out, went back to church on them. And this is a true story, man. I wish we'd have had this on film, bro. By the time me and my boy got through with him and we put that church on him, man, them people stood up and were clapping, screaming. So I went through that, endured that. We ended up getting this little demo budget through this, like I say, a little demo deal with this company called Street Life Records. They had put out Craig Mack back in the day after his Bad Boy situation. So then fast forward to 97, bro. We ended up, me and my boy Taurus, Too Unique was the name of our group. We ended up winning the Best of the West Talent Fest out in Los Angeles at the House of Blues. It's actually on Sunset in Hollywood. And it was hosted at that time by Budweiser. There was a station, if I'm not mistaken, called 102.3 and also J.J. Howard's Productions. But anyway, make a long story short, bro, we won that competition. Got this other little deal with this other company, man. That didn't work out. So then we fast forward, man, to 98. I know you remember the Lisa Left Eye Leslie from TLC, bro. We got on this show. It was the first of its kind, like a prototype, or it set the standard of kind of like, it was the first of its kind of like an American Idol type talent show nationally. It was called MTV's The Cut. Look it up when you guys get a chance.
I remember The Cut. Yeah, that was before like you said, American Idol, The Voice, but Lisa Left Eye Lopez was really behind that first talent type primetime show. Yeah, I'm with you.
There you go. That's absolutely correct. And we made it all the way to the semifinals on that. And we had a very controversial decision. We had a 9.5. They had this guy, Big Al, and basically Tretch, DJ Quick, some other rappers were judges. And we got some high scores, man, and people really loved this. Jamie Foster Brown, I don't know if you remember her from Sister magazine. Deborah Cobb.
I remember
judge. Yeah, man, that was a show at that time. They had Boys and Men, and that now looking back, like I said, now that we're bringing it up, it really was the first of its kind as far as American Idol type shows. But anyway, from there, bro, we just show you how people don't realize, man, all the things that go on behind the scenes. In I'd say it was around 98, 99, shortly after that, bro, my group member's wife, he had a wife at that time. They were young, had just got married, was starting their life with their baby. She passed away, unfortunately from cancer, very young woman, man, and it just caught us all off guard, and it devastated him to the point to where it just took I don't think it was that he didn't want to do music. It's just, man, that's a lot to pick yourself up from. That's like being sucker punched, for lack of a better analogy, right? Right. And so, man, I was left by myself again to try to figure out my brother at this time, not to leave him out the loop. He's always loved music, but I don't think it was the same passion for him. So at some point, the ups and downs of the business, the inconsistencies in income, it forced him to eventually just go into the military, and he ended up, being in the military for years. But anyway, bro, make a long story short, I'm left to myself, and my manager at that time happened to travel a lot and was meeting a lot of people, and I met my boy Dez from No Limit Records, Sons of Funk. And at that time, show you how things work, they had just lost a group member. They had just put out the song Pushing Inside of You. It was just getting on the radio and starting to do well. And it was also, I think, on the Bout It soundtrack, bro, their group member tragically lost his life in some type of confrontation, and he needed someone. And my group member and I, what we were trying to do, I was still trying to keep him motivated. We were supposed to meet with Dez, and my group member just couldn't make it. It was still like, bro, I'm not there, Jay, as he would tell me. I can hear him now, man, I'm trying, Jay. I love music too, man, but, this just caught me off guard. That's my boy. Right. But anyway, fam, Dez and I started talking, and Dez started saying, hey, man, I really like your style, bro, and I know you're pursuing this solo. He said, but would you please consider just coming into the group, man, because you just fit with us naturally. So I got with the group, started touring with them, and then shortly after the No Limit situation, we basically continued to make records. But after the situation, for whatever reason, everyone really wanted to remain independent, because, without getting too deep into the business, when you're on a major, you're famous, everybody knows your name, but there's a difference in being famous and getting paid for your work and your art, man. And I'm not saying that when you do your work and art, it's all about the money, but my thinking is if someone's going to benefit, you're not going to exploit the artist, in my opinion. It's me personally, without me as an artist, writer, producer, being able to exploit myself as well, so to speak, fam. So anyway, after the No Limit situation, we continuously recorded. We put out some independent records. In fact, in 2003, 2004, we put out this record with Bun B from UGK, the legendary Bun B, called Top Down. And then in 2000, I believe it was 2000, let's fast forward to 2011, we put out this project called The Lost Files. And that was basically a collection of songs that was unreleased from the No Limit days, and then also new material that we had recorded over the years. And then I can't leave out in 2003 as well. You can look it up, the legendary Too Short. Me and Dez worked on that album. Dez did like 9 cuts on that album, most of that album. Also, I think Jazzy Fade, Jagged Edge was on that album. Had a couple of good singles off of it. And check it out. I was on cut number 15, Short, a classic Too Short song, real clean. And so, yeah, man. And then fast forward to 2012, we went on the road, Sons of Funk. We out there trying to do our thing, man, continuously going because we had put together some new music. So all the way from that time till about 2014, the group continued to stay on the road. And then we did a show here recently at the New Year in Omaha, Nebraska. We got a call out of nowhere with this No Limit reunion situation. So what began to happen for me, man, over all of my experiences in my journey, man, I just got to a place to where it was time for me to step into what it was that I heard in my head and what it is that I wanted to get out creatively. And, you know, it's beautiful working in a group situation. Trust me, man, that camaraderie, the dynamics of it, you know, the dynamics that make it work. When it works well. And I guess it's like any other relationship, those dynamics also, if not properly managed or utilized right, can also work against you, bro. So make a long story short, man, I was fortunate enough to take the leap of faith to invest into some recording software. I had been around the studio for years, but I never really engineered my own sessions. I would always have, even though I produced my music, I would always have an engineer there to push buttons, correct all little mistakes. And so I just took a leap of faith, man, and invested into me. And I began to realize that, you know, no one's going to believe in me and invest into me the way that I should. So I took that leap of faith, and in 2015, bro, I did my first EP, solo EP called Back to Love. And since that time, bro, I'm now on, I'm several songs in, not to, you know, be boasting, bro. I'm like 50, 60 songs in, maybe more, and getting ready to release the second project, which is going to, if everything works out, sometime this year, and at least a couple singles, and then definitely the full album by the top of the year or spring or maybe before, depending on how things go. But yeah, man, that's pretty much, I hope I didn't give you too much, but that's pretty much my humble beginnings, bro, and how I got to where I'm at right now, bro. So, yeah.
No, that's exactly what I wanted to know, and I wanted the listening audience to know, because I want to go back to something you said. I mean, we look at, when you're in the music industry, and for those out there who's listening to the show, if you're in the music industry, then you know what we're talking about. And for those who don't, then you can understand that it's music and it's business. And we just saw so many artists from TLC, you know, having to file for bankruptcy. You know, yes, we're out here and we got a triple platinum album, you know what I'm saying, over 3 million copies sold, but we're not seeing the money. And H-Town went through the same thing when they were signed to Luke. And I could go on and on of bad record deals, you know. And, you know, you're out here, you're in the studio. This is your creativity. You're out here doing these shows, going from hotel room to hotel room, from city to city, from state to state. I mean, we're working. And, you know, management is eating, and they driving the Benzes and you know what I'm saying, the
something wrong with that picture. That's right.
So, exactly. So the question I'm asking is, you know, but it made you, you know, to who you are, because I always tell my listening audience, you know, adversity and hard times don't break you, they come to break you. It comes really to make you. So the questions I just want to ask right now, looking back on all of that, you know what I'm saying, at what time did you see, when you were with Sons of Funk, that, hey, man, you know, these ends ain't, you know, ain't adding up, you know what I'm saying? And the other thing I would say, you called it, but how did it determine where the group went? You know what I'm saying? Do we stay on board, or do we kind of just, kind of forge our own path?
Yes. And thank you so much for that question. I acknowledge what you just asked. Very good question. Well, you know, I have to be honest. It's like, okay, I have nothing but love for No Limit. That's a legendary situation, man. Grateful to have worked with Sons of Funk and still work with them. Master P, you know him to be he just revolutionized the game and got deals at that time for an independent artist and paved the way for your Cash Moneys and your Bad Boy. It just became a situation by which, you know, let's just say it this way, sir. When you first go into the game and you're young, I'll just say in my experience, most artists like myself, you just want, you know, your songs heard, you know, give me a nice car, a few girls, and hey, we in there and a few dollars. You don't know about publishing. You don't know about copyright. And so, you know, for lack of a better analogy, you're like a virgin losing your virginity for that first time when you're a new artist. And so normally what happens, most artists catch on after their first project. And, you know, they say every master was once a disaster after they go through, like, you know, unfortunately what a TLC went through. Like, I could just use their analogy because it teaches, bro. Those girls worked hard, bro. Trust me, I can tell you. It takes a lot to sell 1 million records. They sold 10 million records. And when they divvied up the money, they had 50,000 left, and they still had people to pay out of that. Tell me what's wrong with that, bro. Come on now. So to answer your question with us, it just became a situation by which, when you self-contained and you write and produce all your music, and I got to give shout out to my man Dez from Sons of Funk. He's a very talented producer, bro. Recently did some work for Wiz Khalifa and Tiger and different other artists that I can't recall right now. And, you know, when you self-contained, bro, and you learn the game, you learn what your publishing is and how all of that plays into it. You just want to maintain your independence. And then not only that, remember, we were dealing with a time where there was the industry began to see that paradigm shift take place to where technology, the internet came in and created actually more leverage for the artist. Yeah, on one side of the coin, the average person can go on the internet now and just take your music, or hear it freely. But on the other side of that coin, you get the exposure. You can now put yourself in places with marketing tools and the internet and social media that once you needed a record company for, the majors for it. You can also, bro, what am I saying? Very, for the most part, very affordable if you're serious about it. Get your own recording software and write in your own home, make records that sound just as good as any record sitting up in a big studio. So technology really changed the game, and the internet, bro, and created a new avenue and opportunity for the artist to be independent and maintain his independence and his monopoly over his music, so to speak, man. Because I tell people like this, the music industry don't have no social security. Rapping and singing, there's no social security. You got to set it up for yourself. You have to make your money work for you and diversify and, spread yourself out with your money and make sure that you realize that when you're up today, tomorrow is not promised. All it takes, it's just not, man. Tomorrow's not promised that you'll have that same success. So in all of that, bro, I guess what I could say is we just, as the game changed, as the rules and approaches to it changed, we just made the change with it. And yes, in exchange for that, you have less fame, less notoriety for some artists. But at the end of the day, when you look at the numbers, which don't lie, and the splits on your deals and distribution and publishing, you're walking away a lot wealthier. And so at the end of the day, for lack of a better word, pay me, bro.
Right. I can dig that. I think that I was at ABC radio networks, and I started to see the market crashing, and I started to see how radio stations were changing. Everybody was going syndicated, and I was up there with Michael Bays, and then I was in there with Tom Banks, and you know what I'm saying, joiners across the street. But I saw the move, how everything was getting ready to go automated. I saw the revolution come in, you know what I'm saying, and how things were about to change. We're not dealing with albums anymore. We're dealing with LPs, 7-song LPs, and we're not dealing with trying to push a record anymore. We're dealing with a hot single, you know what I'm saying? And then, we're not even talking about the ringtone revolution at that time. You know what I'm saying? Soldier Boy Man was doing 1 million downloads just on a 99-cent ringtone. Now you do the math, but he's independent. You understand what I'm saying?
There you go. Oh, let's take my man Tyrese. I met him before and never got a chance to really work with him, but a good friend of mine and him became really good friends, man. And, they would talk on holidays and, about different things. And Tyrese set up Voltron Records, and I remember it was several years ago, man. He went independent, and on that independent album, he sold 750,000 units. Now, that's not even platinum, but it's over gold. It's 250,000 units over gold. But my point in saying that, man, is that, let's do the split. Let's say he did a 10-song album and sold it for $10. You do the math, man, on $700,000.
Right.
750,000 units moved. Basically, that's 7.5 million.
Right.
So, you know, and with the traditional average record deal, even now, bro, and I'm grateful that majors exist and they still have their role. But man, I just got to be honest with you. Even now, it's just for a lot of artists. You know, even I was listening to Ashanti recently. I was listening to Joe, the legendary Joe Thomas, man, and they were just speaking about the fact they were on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about the fact that, you know, what's taken Ashanti, let's use her for an example. She went through some things when the whole Murder Inc. situation went down, but she's been dealing with these labels since the last time she put out stuff, trying to get a deal that would be advantageous both ways, but they have what they call these 360 deals, fam. And so that doesn't leave very much room and advantages for the artist, because that's getting a piece of everything that you do. At least the artists used to have touring all to themselves, you know, because already you have to wait for producers' record. It's called recoupment, man. That's the thing about a major. If you're going to sign to a major and they're going to throw all that money and invest into you, which it isn't the 90s anymore, so that's not happening, not as a new artist anyway. But my point is, every dollar they spend on you, they're going to recoup it. And so before you ever see any money, you know, they get theirs first. So that's why the touring aspect was so important, bro. But now, I mean, there's 360 deals where the record labels get a piece of that as well, bro. So, I mean, this whole independent market, bro, and the internet and what you saw coming on, you're very wise and have a lot of vision, bro. And I saw it coming because, Lawrence, I could tell you the times, bro, I sat in the studio and punched in vocals on a keyboard, bro, trying to lock them up and having to have one person press the play button. And, oh, man, you remember how we used to have to record, man. And so the evolution of the technology, bro, has really made it just a lot more advantageous for the average artist if they, you know, take the time to learn it, to, you know, have a lot more independence and control over your career, bro. And that's pretty much what happened for me.
Okay. Well, let's do this, man. Let's get into some of your music from your solo project. The first project is called Back to Love. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. And these songs right here, man, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. These aren't on my EP, Back to Love. These are a few songs that's going to be on a new one that I'm going to be putting out here, like I explained at the top of the hour, hopefully at the end of this year, beginning of next year. And very excited about this project. I appreciate the great response for an independent artist that I got on Back to Love. And this one right here is just going to be more of the same, just taken to a whole new level, more live instrumentation, more live bass guitar on this one, live keys, live guitar, and just in there making good music, doing what I do, man. And I hope y'all enjoy them, bro.
All right, the listening audience, man, you're getting a treat tonight. We got Jerry Perkins on the show. We're going to get ready to hear a sneak peek of his upcoming album that he's getting ready to drop. So right now, you guys are locked in the Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. We're going to get into the vibration of sound, and we'll be right back. Enjoy.
Just can't wait. Let your chocolate melt in my mouth, not in my hands. Wanna taste your birthday cake. Come break up the camera, we gon' make a love scene. Picture perfect HD. Love the way it feels so damn good when you're putting that thing on me. We making love from the midnight till the morning light. I'll be stroking your body all up back and let me know that you like it. We be making love from the midnight till the morning light. Feels so good when I'm inside. This is what it feels like under a sky. Strumming on your body to this love song. Up all night, no sleep. Like chocolate, strawberries, caramel, and vanilla. Girl, you taste so sweet. Come break up the camera, we gon' make a love scene. Picture perfect HD. Love the way it feels so damn good when you're putting that thing on me. We making love from till the morning light. Till the morning light, baby. Feels so good when I'm inside. This is what it feels like when doves cry, baby. Ooh, it feels so right. It feels so right. Like chocolate, strawberries, caramel, and vanilla. Ooh, girl, you taste so sweet. Love the way it feels so damn good when you're putting that thing on me. We making love from the midnight till the morning light. Till the morning light. Body, all up back and let me know that you like. All up back and let me know that you like. We be making love from the midnight till the morning light. Till the morning light. Feels so good when I'm inside. This is what it feels like when doves cry, babe. Said it feels so good. We be making love from the midnight till the morning light. Feels so good when I'm inside. This is what it feels like.
You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence Coutee.
Yo, this is your boy JP. You listening to Mind by Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. And I want to thank you for listening to my music. And anybody out there that want to check out my project, go to jpsong.org and preview those songs. And hopefully you'll love the whole project and get the whole album. If not, download the ones of your choice. And I want to thank you again for listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. It's your boy JP.
Give it what you want.
We're back on Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. Special guest tonight is recording artist, producer, engineer, Sons of Funk member, No Limit Records Sons of Funk member, Jerry Perkins, man. And we were just going over the industry and just talking about some of, you know what I'm saying, his travels and how he got started. And right now we just up in here giving out the game and just talking about, we left off talking about how the music industry has changed, and we're giving out a little game for you guys that's, you know, in the music industry, or you guys that's thinking about getting in the music industry. And really, JP, man, it's really about take care of your business, get your BMI, your ASCAP, because the last thing you were saying is that you've got to set yourself up. Like you said, there ain't no retirement plan, ain't no SSI. So, man, get your royalties, get your writing, get your production points, get your credits, and get a hit record, man, because there's people out there that's still eating off records they put out 20 years ago. So break it down, Jay. What a person needs to do on this independent move right now?
Man, you covered a lot. The best thing I would say is what you were just saying. I'm going to reiterate that. Get your ASCAP and BMI in order. Get your copyrights right. And, you know, go make some quality music, man. Go make some quality music and start using, you know, whatever outlets and tools you have at your disposal as far as social media, and just get your awareness out, man. Don't be afraid to go for you. At first, you might start out with a small audience, but, you know, it's the consistency over time of pounding and beating on the pavement day after day that's going to bring you results. And so that's what I would advise, you know, get your paperwork right. Don't look at jumping to the top overnight. You don't just jump to the top. I'll explain it to you like a good long-time friend that's been in the industry that I'm working with that I'll talk about later told me, you know, you have to, it's like elementary school, Lawrence. You start in elementary, you go to junior high, then from junior high school, graduate high school, go to college, you get your college degree. And now you up there with your Beyoncés, your Kanyes, et cetera, bro. But that's what I would say. And a lot of artists, they you know, there's a difference in loving what you do and wanting to be famous. I would tell any artist, if you just want the fame from this business, you're going to have a long way to go, because you're going to encounter so many things that would make the average person want to give up. And that's why I do have to respect people like R. Kelly and anybody else that consistently can stay out in this business and continue to make music, because it's the other challenges that you face behind the music that would discourage the average person from doing it, bro. I mean, the times that you do have to go through having less money and sacrificing to do your music when, there was many times that I could have took good jobs in corporate America when the struggle was there. But I would rather make less doing what I love and what I know I'm purposed and called to do than to make more doing something just for a paycheck, bro. So, independent artists, just stay on your hustle, stay on your grind. You'll get it.
I mean, I love that because I want to talk about that. Before I want to ask you this quick question. We talked about, the H-Towns and the Jodeci. So who were, it could be solo artists or group artists. Who were some of your musical influences, man, when you were, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, a teenager jumping into the music, man? Like, who are some of the artists that you admire, that you just dig, man, who really made you want to, do this stuff?
Absolutely, man. Let me go back a little further, like age 12, man, when I heard Jodeci and I heard Guy. I know you remember Teddy Riley and Guy, and then I heard Babyface, and Babyface would put out these records. And then, you had New Edition, If It Is in Love, and songs like that, and Can You Stand the Rain, Boys to Men. And just that, that whole sound inspired me. Even R. Kelly, man, and that's somebody I have to highly respect because a lot of artists haven't been able to navigate these waters that is this industry and change with the times and stay relevant. So I would definitely say top of the list, Teddy Riley and Guy, Jodeci. And then moving into this new era, Jagged Edge, when you talk about the early mid-2000s, Drew Hill. And then if I could just take you back, man, to the foundation for me, it would definitely, like I told you, Al was one of my first influences. And then from there was like Al, Barry White, the Isley Brothers, Marvin Gaye. Oh, God, it's right at the tip of my tongue. R.I.P. to him. Donny Hathaway, bro.
Hathaway.
The list goes on, man. I would, and I hope I said Babyface, bro, because not only as a singer, bro, just the phenomenal writer and producer that he is, the diversity in his style of writing, bro. And even on the pop side back at that time, you remember George Michael?
Yeah, I remember Father.
I like all kind of music, man. So, yeah, bro, I'd have to say the ones I listed to you are at the top of the list. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. That's why I lost my thought for a minute there. From the gospel side, bro, because I have so many influences. You talk about John P. Key. I know you know about John P. Key, one of the coldest ever, bro.
John P. Key.
Fred Hammond. And then someone that I got a chance to work with and almost was like a mentor to me, the great late B.J. Fears, Reverend B.J. Fears, bro. Bro, he actually had Yolanda Adams in a group way back in the day. I remember in Lufkin, he had an anniversary for B.J. Fears in the New Life Choir, and I was there that night controlling the curtains and stuff, and I remember Yolanda Adams singing for her. She wasn't even known as she is now, bro, but man, when I tell you that woman was a powerhouse. So anyway, I have a wide variety of influences, bro.
I remember those days because I come out of IYC, so I remember the Gospel Workshop of America, Music Workshop of America, and Roy Lee coming back telling us these stories about this guy in Tyler, Texas, and he goes by the name of what's my man, Stomp, Kirk Franklin, and this guy named Kirk Franklin is fighting. He's fighting at the Gospel Workshop Music of America, and we didn't know who this guy was until Silver and Gold came out. And we all know that Kirk Franklin changed gospel music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Forever. He's the father of the sound, the circular sound that you hear in the gospel music. So I'm familiar with that, and I would travel to Lufkin, Texas, and I would be over here at this church and that church. So I remember those days, coming out of my musical roots. Yeah. You
remember BJ, man? I don't know if you knew BJ came out from under the great Reverend James Cleveland, bro. That was his mentor. So man, I had an opportunity to be able. I didn't realize it as a kid. But like sitting in all those rehearsals with him at workshops and him and my mom and listening, that was going into me, man. And to this day, what's helped me a lot, Lawrence, is that, knowing how to play keys. I try to keep live instrumentation into my music, bass guitar, lead guitar. The reason why is because our generation, even now, they sample a lot of music. And so my thing is, why not be the sample? Let me give them something to sample 20 years from now. You follow me?
Right. You know, and I was just going to talk about that because when I listen to your music and I look at the video and I hear it, I do hear the live instrumentation. You know, your mother's a master organist and pianist, and you know what I'm saying. And then you picking up the guitar, so I'm hearing the wah-wahs and I'm hearing the chords. And you know, I come from a recording background too, and it's just nothing like you're going to hear live music, not a sample guitar, but he's actually playing these chords. And man, when I heard your stuff, I was just blown away, man, because it felt so good. And, you know, it's because we have that roots in us, we have that gospel, and I love the late great Pimp C and UGK because you heard the organ in it, and you heard the things that Pimp C would be singing because that's what we come out of. We come out of gospel and blues, and gospel and blues make R&B. And I thank you for going back and giving us that gospel feel at the same time and infusing it with the rhythm and blues because that is the foundation. So that's what I love about your music because you actually understand the foundation. You from that foundation, man. So to me, it's just hot. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. Well, I'm a musician first, bro. I discovered singing later. But like I told you, at age 5, you know, my fascination was with instruments. And so even when I look back at my childhood, you know, not to get all religious or philosophical, I just feel like the Most High purposed and prepared me even at a young age for this, bro, because we stayed on the road, man. We were always traveling with my father, hooking up equipment. So, yeah, man, I was definitely made for it, bro, you know, and I'm just grateful for the journey, bro.
Man, let's talk about this, man. You said being in the game with longevity, but going through adversity. What can you tell the listening audience? Because that was one of the main things I wanted to get to, living your purpose. And you hit on that a while ago. You said, man, as long as you, and I tell the people on the show all the time, man, find what you were meant to do. And like you said, you might not get the money up front, but if you keep doing what you're doing and you love what you're doing and you love getting up, going to a job or something that you've created for yourself, it's just going to make this thing called life and this journey even more better. But how do you deal with adversity, man? And there's times when you like, man, you like you said, I could be in corporate America making 6 figures, but I choose to do something that I love. How do you deal with that, man, mentally and spiritually?
Because thank you so much, and that's a great question. Well, I just believe, you know, you have to be real with yourself personally. That's what I look at. Like, hey, at the end of the day, everything comes with the price, man. It's going to cost you something. So in my humble opinion, for me personally, the sacrifice of, let's say, when things are rough, not having that 6-figure income, that's overridden by the joy and the peace of mind and the contentment that I have knowing that I'm doing what I'm purposed to do, not just doing what I have to do. I feel that a lot of people spend the majority of their lives doing what they just have to do to get by. And then you get to the end of your life and it's sad to say, what if I would have just took a chance for me, man? You know, so my whole thing is how I deal with adversity is that, you know, I just remind myself, man, that this too will pass, that, you know, everything is temporary as far as, you know, going through difficult times. And then I've had to accept that, you know, you're not going to be able to even appreciate any good times or any joyous times without experiencing a little pain. But it's, as you said, it's like a mother giving birth. Those birthing pains are agonizing, but look at the beauty of life that it yields. So that's just how it is for me with adversity. I've realized that I have one or two choices: to be better as a result of my adversity or become bitter. I choose the first option, which is to allow it to make me better. And that's what I would advise to anyone. If you'll look at your situation, because I remember talking to this brother when I was going through it, Lawrence, and you was telling me, man, when you're facing a storm, the best way is to walk straight through it. And that's what I did. And now it seems like that time was an illusion. But when I was in that storm, bro, just that little bit of word or bread of life you gave me kept me going. So I'm going to throw that back at you and your listeners. If you're facing a storm, walk straight through it and know you'll make it. No shortcuts. Walk through it.
Man, that's beautiful. Because, Jay, you know all the deep conversations we have and we get in and we kick knowledge to each other and we motivate each other. But, man, you know, you think back, you know what I'm saying, 2 years ago or 3 years ago when we first met, and, you know, I'm seeing you do your thing and you're seeing me do my thing, and it's like, man, I mean, this is it's beautiful to see the growth. We were talking about that off the phone, on the growth and the journey that we're both on. Like we're at that point right now that we're really, you know, walking our path. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing it, you know what I'm saying, together. You know, so it's a beautiful thing. And I tell people all the time, man, find it. Whatever you want to do it. Whatever gets you on fire and that you love, do it, man. You know.
You know what I say, Lawrence? And I say this: you have to, because I'm gonna borrow this from Robert Kiyosaki. He said, "Find your area of genius." For Mick Jagger, it was music. But for a lot of people, it's like taking Mick Jagger and trying to make him, let's say, a good assembly worker. That's not who he is. So I'm saying, don't be a fish out of water. Get into your stream and your waters that your genius can come out. Like, you know, and that's what was a big encouragement to me too, bro. It's like, you know, I had to wake up and say, okay, Jerry, what is it that you would do and do it for free without even thinking about it? It was very easy. I love people. I love music. So it had to do with helping people and music, bro. And those are the two things that I get up each and every day and do. I'm grateful for my life and the opportunity each day I get up to keep going and have an opportunity to do it like it's my last. And I look for opportunities to just make the most of each and every encounter I have with another human being, because I never know what that other person is really going through, the loss of a child, the loss of a mother. So in my journey, that's what I'm learning, man, is to always stay humble and kind, man, because, you know, I have some friends in Baton Rouge right now that a good friend of mine, man, was living in a nice mansion, and now his mansion is under 7-8 feet of water inside of it, bro. So anything can happen to anybody. So I just, by the way, shout out to anybody out in Baton Rouge, and shout out to my people, Rico Crowder and Dez Mouth from Sons of Funk out there, bro, in Baton Rouge. Our prayers are with everybody. But yeah, man, that's what I'll say, bro, is just, you know, be grateful each day and do your best to leave your tank on empty.
Man, leave your tank on empty. Go hard or go home. Go all out. Walk on the water. Step out there on faith and walk on that water, man, you know.
Let me tell you how serious it came from me, Lawrence. I got to the point where it's go or don't go at all. Go or don't go at all. Don't tell me to go and go hard. No, go or don't go at all. Because if you gonna go, you better be going hard. Right,
you sure right. Master Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. You know, we don't know what try means. You know, man.
Spot on, bro. Spot on.
It's man. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface, man. I always say, you know, my super friends and JP, you know, anytime I got this platform, I want you back, because, man, this conversation is so deep, you know, just on your journey, you know what I'm saying, and the things that you've had to overcome, you know what I'm saying, and to be able to step out there. We were talking off the line earlier before we started the show. It's like, man, you know, when you step out here on the solo end, or I'll say you start your own business, you're leaving corporate America, you're walking away from this job. You know what I'm saying? You have no cushion. So you have to step out there on your own. And guess what? You don't have no one to blame. I'm the boss now. Right. I'm in charge. If I don't work, I don't eat. If I don't grind, I don't shine. You know, there's no group supporting me right now. You know, this is my business. You know what I'm saying? And I have to go hard. I have to make the right decisions. It's music business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's really business and music. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Because your business got to be taken care of first. Music is going to be there. That's talent. Everybody got talent, some kind of talent. But, man, you got to take care of your business, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Spot on again, bro. Exactly right.
But and I'm going to say this, you know what I'm saying, before we wrap up, because I want to hear about what you're doing, man. But, you know, here's a guy from East Texas, you know, Lufkin and his backwoods of East Texas. He moves to L.A. He goes on a journey to New York. He's in contests. He's doing this. And his journey keeps moving. And now he done got with this group that's got a hot record. And before you know it, he's on one of the hottest groups in the world, really. You know what I'm saying? At that time, Sons of Funk.
That's correct. One of the biggest labels at that time. No limit. Everybody wanted to be on the tank, bro.
Yeah, everybody wanted to rep their tank. I mean, he's on one of the biggest. He's in the biggest label in the world, which is No Limit Records, man. But to see your journey, to hear you come on this show and talk about it, and then to see where you're at right now. And here we go again, stepping out there on faith. It's like, this is my album. This is my second album. But JP, you're now producing. You know what I'm saying? You're now an engineer. It's people down in East Texas, man, they're coming to you with their musical projects. Before we get into what you're doing right now, and we'll make the transition into that before we wrap up, but, man, talk about that just for a minute, what you're doing, and, man, you're producing and you're engineering now. Tell me about this phase of it.
Well, man, like I said, I've been around it for years, and, I guess the best way to learn is, we're creatures of habit, and so they say anything that you've done, it's the 10,000-hour rule. Help me out if I'm wrong. Anything you've done 10,000 hours or more, you become somewhat of an expert at it. So that's right. All, bro. I was around it so long. And so just with this being the information age where most things that you don't know, if you don't know someone who knows them, you can look them up online, bro. And so just studying and learning and the desire to not have to, and I hate to say this, wait on other people, because in this business, people will promise you things, man, and you'll be sitting around waiting on forever. And I just felt an urgency to take the faith and the colostrum that was given to me, man, because I had a grandmother, Sonny Taylor, man, R.I.P., that was like, you can't understand, bro, what you hear in me. She gave this to me. She trained me for difficult situations that when I needed that strength to kick in, it would kick in and I would get my second win. So really what happened, bro, I got a second win with my career to where I just said, you know what, I see where I'm at and I see where I desire to go. But wanting and desiring without any action is not going to get me there. So I just started to take action, bro. And right now I was fortunate to meet one of the industry's behind the scenes great. His name is T.C. Tompkins. He started out in the 70s at Stax Records and then became VP of CBS Epic Records and went on to work with Michael Jackson on Thriller. You can look him up at TompkinsMarketing.com and check out his client list. I mean, I would be here all night trying to name the Luthers, the Sade's, the J Dash, the Tyrese's, Jaheim. But anyway, Tompkins Marketing is right now doing a radio campaign for me, radio and digital campaign. And I even got some good news this evening that I'm getting a lot of positive feedback and requests on my record at a pretty large recording station out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So at this time, I'm promoting my single "Making Love" that's going to be on my up and coming album. We're going to call this one "Back at Love," and it's going to be more of JP, just like I said, doing my live thing. And then also, man, I'm going to be preparing to do some tour dates in the areas where my record catch on fire and people are really enjoying the music. And also, I've been talking with writers, and I want to get with you on that possibly as well. I'm trying to put together this short film and documentary on my story, my upbringing, how I was able to overcome some things that we didn't even get into on this show. But that's basically what I have going now. And for anyone that want to check out my music, currently you can go to cdbaby.com. You can also go to jpsong.org. That's jpsong.org. And there you will have links to all my social media contact. You'll have links to YouTube to go check out a video I recently did. Also, you'll have links there to go to CD Baby, iTunes, Rhapsody, etc. to preview. And hopefully, if you like it, download the whole album or songs of your choice.
Amazing, awesome. And you are down there right now. You got open sessions available. So if people want to reach out to you for some musical projects, they need some time, maybe some vocal time.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hit me up at JLove, that's JLUV, so JLoveMD@gmail.com.
One more time. Hit me
up at JLoveMD@gmail.com. Leave your name, a short message, and I'll call you back and get with you. And hopefully we can get together and I can help you any way I can. I plan on going on the road here real soon, but I'm already structuring the business to where when I'm on the road, we'll still have someone with the level of professionalism as myself that'll be able to assist artists and getting their music recorded. So, yeah, man, I look forward to working with new artists, whether you do gospel, pop, country, R&B, jazz. I'm a lover of music, and those genres are literally categories to categorize music, but I just make music. So whatever type of music you do, I can help you.
And I'm gonna pitch for him, man. this JP got a sound, man. If you looking for that sound, that industry sound, you know what I'm saying? If you want somebody on those keys, if you want somebody who know you in the wrong pitch and gonna be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
He's gonna coach you through it now. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You know, he's a phenomenal engineer and producer, man. I mean, listen to his music, guys. Go check him out on his website. You know what I'm saying? And check out his links. Follow him. But I'm really shouting out, man. If you guys are out there and y'all in the music business, holler at this man. He has experience. He has a lot of experience, a lot of in-house, in-studio experience, a lot of experience in the game, in the industry. He knows his stuff. So by all means, get with him if you're doing this music.
And I'm going to do something I normally don't do. This is for you, Lawrence, on tonight. Y'all listening out there, anybody serious, I'm going to give you this number to call. I'm going to leave it open for about 48 hours, and if you're serious and you really want to get something done, I'll make sure you speak to me directly, and I'll chop it up with you, and we'll see what we can get done for you. That's 936-205-6080. Again, that's 936-205-6080.
There it is. You don't get too many industry, you know what I'm saying, people giving out their personal contact, but that's all.
I didn't say have a personal now, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe it is, but the thing is, for 48 hours, you hit me on that one, I'll make sure I get back. Look, man, I'm not untouchable, man. That's another thing. I don't care how high, how low, bro. I want the people always able to touch me, man.
Hey, man, we hustle, and we grind, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, JP, man, I thank you so much for coming on. You got to come back. I mean, it's so...
Well, man, definitely, man. It was my pleasure.
Yeah,
and you know what? It seemed like this hour went too fast, bro, so I definitely got to come back on. Definitely. We didn't even really scratch the surface, man.
Hey, man, you can come back on as many times as you want. My door is always open for you, brother. If there's anything I can do, getting the word out, you know, hey, man, you know how we get down, you know what I'm saying? But I want you back on the show, man, because you know how we talk. I mean, you deep, you on a spiritual level. I mean, you fit right in with living your dreams. So if anybody want to talk about living your dreams, when I do this segment, I would love to have you come on and we just motivate the people, man, because your experience and some of the things that you've been through that you can give them, man, is way more phenomenal than I can give them. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate that, man. I take that modestly, but, man, I mean, it's equally the same in my eyes, man. Just everybody got journeys and experiences that could help each other, man. So, again, I appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me on, man, and I look forward to the next time we chop it up.
Okay, JP, let me say this. We're getting ready to kick out to the last song. Tell us about this song we're going to go out on, man, before we wrap it up. Tell us a little bit about this song. Why'd you do it?
This is a song, man, thank you, that I came up with recently after seeing what was going on in Baton Rouge and just the whole climate in our nation right now. And this song is called Gotta Get Better. It's going to change, basically, is what I'm saying in the song. And basically, this song is just to motivate us to say a prayer and stick together. Say a prayer for our children being taken down in the street. Say a prayer for all the struggles that's going on in our country and our nation, so to speak, and around the world. And hopefully it'll resonate with the audience, and hopefully someone will be inspired by it. And I hope you guys enjoy it, bro. Gonna get better. I love it.
There it is, man. You've been listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. I'd like to thank my special guest, Jerry Perkins, for being on. JP, thank you so much, man. As we get ready to wrap up into this song, man, things are going to get better. Everybody hold their head. Come back and be with us next week, same time, same channel. Thank you so much for listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. JP, hold on the line as we get ready to go out. Peace, love, and light, y'all.
This goes out to everybody that's been going through it. Shout out to Baton Rouge. Every time I turn on the news, all I see is war and crime. What is this world coming to? Why my own people wanna take my life over jealousy, envy, hate, and strife.
You have been listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network. Listen to Yessurr FM and other member stations of the Get Global Network on the go by installing any of the Get Global Network apps like So Metro Magazine, Grassroots Salute, Agtown Nation, or Big Red Radio Nation for your cell phone. The apps are available for download on both Google Play and iTunes app stores. Take the time to subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or the Spreaker Podcast Network.